Program Office holds parley with ex-militant leaders. Group pledges support to President Buhari. General Boro felicitates with newly crowned Amayanabo of Okochiri, His Royal Majesty King Ateketom Sekuru I. Plus, fact file, tidbits, and more. Dream but never make dreams your master. Think but don't make thoughts your aspiration. What that seems so simple yet so true and profound. Welcome to Reintegration 30,000. I am Stella Inamiti. Indeed, the Presidential Amnesty Program is all about helping young Niger Deltans turn dreams and aspirations into reality. In many ways, the program has inspired reformed agitators to build self-confidence and continues to mentor thousands to grow enterprises that would in turn make them not only self-reliant, but also employers of labor themselves. We are also not forgetting the impact it has had in the sustenance of peace and stability in the entire Delta, making the successful implementation of the amnesty program a key national component in President Muhammadu Buhari's development strategy for the Niger Delta. At this juncture, we usually get the ball rolling with our segment, A Changed Story. It's a rather intriguing style this week. Our changed story for this week is not just one or two persons, but three, and they are all ladies. So this week, you will be watching three ladies talk about their own side of the amnesty story of change. While one of them was actively involved in the armed struggle, two of the ladies were drawn from violence-impacted communities.
My name is Uchechi Williams.
My name is Progress Risado Koko. I'm from Bayelsa State.
My name is Azbanata Ruben.
Before I was empowered, before I went for the program, things wasn't that easy because I didn't have enough cash and enough funds to start up a business.
I went to Bubara 2011. When I come back, they called me 2012 for training. I went to Kaiko Soba to catering.
As a young girl, having a place of my own, starting up something, it has affected my life because you don't have to go to meet mommy give me money for this, daddy give me money for that. And you also have to help mom, help dad from what the amnesty program has done. I've really benefited a lot.
I chose to make chemical soap and other things, which I know that everyone uses it. And after learning, I was empowered. So from there, I can get whatever thing I want to get from the phone easily for me to do any other thing.
When I finished the catering, now the amnesty people empower me. I'm so happy for the things, the handwork they're giving to me and the empowerment they are giving to me. I'm so happy. I'm thanking God for Boro and federal government.
White-collar job is not everything. Skill is one important thing and it helps a lot. Having skill is like you have something within you that you can never lose till the day you die.
Well, the market is okay in Port Harcourt because everyone uses soap, both male and female. You use soap to clean your clothes, your plates, your mop, offices, hospital, and every other place. So the market is okay.
this amnesty program come, at least from every month ending, I'm receive 50,000 every month ending before. Before let me say, I'm work, maybe if I work for somebody, no salary, sometimes I will go to bunkering to start just to live in. Very tough for me, but when they start to bring this amnesty program and benefits many things, at least now I have a hand work. Now every month ending I receive 50,000, at least it's not easy. Also, I will thank God for everything that borough and federal government did to Niger Delta people.
I'm training, I don't want to keep it to myself. I've learned, so it's right for me to also teach others. I've taught one person, I've trained one person, and I'm looking forward to train more to empower others also.
It's not a waste of time, because if I didn't go for the program, I wouldn't have known how to make soap and bleach, and even to market them and for people to come in to buy from me. So it's a nice program, it's good. I teach people here, those that wants to learn, so that they too will be able to start up something from their home. Even if they don't have a shop, they can start up something from their home. People coming to count from them, coming to supply. You can also supply in the office, shops, supermarket, and all those things. So I appreciate, I'm grateful for that.
And those ones that go training, even though they never empower themselves, don't lose hope. One day will come to pass. As far as I'm benefit from this thing, they will also benefit from one of these days. So just keep hoping.
Lots of people have been empowered, some have gone to school, and the difference is already showing. So if it is sustained, I know that it will make a lot of difference to the young people, and not just the young, to everybody.
These ladies have all gone ahead in life, making steady growth and becoming pillars of support in their various homes. Talking about support structure, indeed, the vocational training component of the amnesty program is essentially about ensuring that reformed armed agitators have a solid base for economic self-dependence. Of course, in the last few months, we have gone over a few of these vocations, from welding to carpentry, automobile repairs and maintenance to constructions, marine technology, and a host of others. And there is agriculture. For many reasons, we never get tired of talking about agriculture. And so this week on Insight, we are looking again at agriculture and how the amnesty program is breaking new ground in agribusiness. The amnesty program training in agriculture has since evolved, manifesting in what has become an intensive agribusiness initiative. This undoubtedly captures the core essence for the current national interest in agriculture. The government's targets include to meet Nigeria's food demand, curb importation while growing areas where the country has comparative advantage in the hope of creating markets for export.
If we get it right in our focus on agriculture, candidly speaking, we'll achieve three major things. First one is job opportunities. Second one is food security. And then thirdly, we shall sell our farm products and our financial position will be enhanced.
In joining the campaign, the Presidential Amnesty Program is training and preparing its delegates to take advantage of the opportunities already opening up in the agro-allied industry. Delegates under the program are being mentored on agriculture as business, whether in cropping, animal husbandry, fishery, or poultry. Delegates are being empowered in these areas after successfully concluding their training, but now in clusters, better known in the business circles as cooperatives.
Our model is fashioned along these lines. We cluster them into groups of 20, between 20 and 25. Then we incorporate a company, a cooperative society, each group. What that means is that at the farm, Each group has 44. If there are 22 in the group, we give them 44 fish ponds. That means 2 per person. But no, you cannot point to any particular pond that belongs to one individual. It's a group thing. It's owned by that company.
The cluster farm approach is now being applied in almost every area of agricultural training and empowerment under the Amnesty program. The office has spelled out its reasons for this approach, identifying increased production as a major factor. Under the cooperative society approach, communal pooling and resource sharing is key. And more importantly, the group or groups are registered as a corporate entity at the Corporate Affairs Commission.
There are several advantages of belonging to the cluster. With the cluster system, this cluster would have unfettered access to sourcing for loans, credit facilities, to enable them upscale the production.
Funding is a key motivation for most clusters. Access to fund is somewhat easier when lenders are dealing with corporate entities and businesses. And in Nigeria, the authorities have expanded the vista of opportunities for credits, not just for farmers alone, but other players along the value chain of some target crops.
There are a lot of funds that can be accessed. The Bank of Agriculture is there, the Bank of Industry is there, there is a CAP fund that is also there. There are a lot of funds that are readily available for them to access, but as an individual farmer, it's not easy accessing these facilities. But by belonging to this cluster, it will be easy for them to access credit facilities and also to get support from other NGOs.
Agriculture is a thriving business in today's Nigeria, making giant leaps in its contributions to the country's gross domestic product, GDP. The Presidential Amnesty Program understands the place of mentorship in boosting morale among its delegates who have become agri-entrepreneurs.
I thank God for this cooperative. I believe that by the grace of God, the cooperative is going well for now.
And I thank God for today, for making me to be part of this cooperation. When they were telling me about cooperation, about this farm, I take it like something else. But today I have seen a dream light. So I encourage all my listeners, my friends, and my brothers, anywhere you are, please fix yourself. It's never too late. It's never too late. We'll still accept you. We'll still be with you. Please, anywhere you are, go into the farm. Any portion you have, anything you want to plant, it will go a long way and it will help Nigeria.
You're watching Reintegration 30,000, and up next is our segment Talking Point. Our guest is the Technical Assistant and Head Post-Training and Engagement at the Presidential Amnesty Office. He is Major Abdul Mati, retired. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Stella.
Let's begin by talking about the empowerment of delegates in a vocation that the office is apparently passionate about: agriculture. How successful has it been so far?
So far, so good. Like the SA always say, agriculture is the next thing this country must face. And that's one of the reasons we are concentrating on agriculture than other areas of vocational empowerment. So far, we've made inroads with our delegates, and we have some of them already in rice farming. A lot of them is fish farming because of the region we are from, where we have so much water, and fishing is the main thing. So I think so far we have succeeded in what we have started out to do.
The cluster farm approach is fast becoming a hallmark of the Agric Empowerment Initiative. Do you plan to monitor the progress of these cooperatives to such a level that you are confident that they can stand on their own?
Yes, before we started, we already had our plans in place because it's a new thing with the delegates, and before now, delegates were always being monitored by vendors. But in this area of cluster farming, we've gotten a particular 1 or 2 consultants who will, from time to time,
reach out to them in case we have any problem or they have problem rather. They can come back to the office with the feedback and we're able to solve it as soon as possible. And I will tell you, the one we set up in Okrika just not quite long ago, it's already yielding so much results. They've started having their first eggs, and they've even started selling their first fish sales. So it means that we didn't make a mistake about it. So it's a cooperative type of thing, and they're working as a group, and from what we are hearing from the field, they are making so much money. So I think the cluster thing, we are going to concentrate on it and see how it goes with other states. The one in Patani is supposed to be for about 200 of our delegates. It's mainly going to be fish farming. The ponds are ready, and just for us to deploy the delegates into them. There we are expecting about 200 of them to be deployed in Patani. And in Ilele, we have a group of our delegates who are into fish farming and poultry. That we are grouping them together as a cooperative so that they can enhance their financial capacity. We have one also ongoing Bayelsa. It's about 150 plots of land. We just started developing that, and when it's done, it's going to take over 300 delegates. That's going to be an integrated farm, cluster farm. That is fish farming, poultry farming, crop farming, snailing. So we're going to combine everything on that farm. It's quite a big place.
Let's quickly look at the empowerment in some agri value chain. Speak to us on that and other likely areas that the Amnesty Office may be investing in to train delegates in agriculture.
Value chain, like what we are setting up in Yenegua, that I just spoke about 100 and something plot of land. In that setup, we are going to have a dry processing unit, a feed making unit. So at the end of the day, you have the complete value chain for fish. You grow the fish, you harvest, you process, you package, and you sell. That is going to be in that, on that distance. The one in Okrika, the same thing. They have the clean. They have the clean for drying the fish for packaging. Because right now, we don't have the capacity to buy cold rooms that can keep this fish fresh and distribute them. Maybe with time, the cooperative will be able to get loans from the agri banks or commercial banks to expand and get those facilities. But I think what we are setting up gradually is to work. We intend to partner with Mosilo for some of our delegates to be involved in active rights production in Bayelsa State. So we hope to key into that. And that's a partnership we want to go into. The Mosili rice ad-grower scheme is being put in place by Moses Siloko Siasia, who is a Bayelsa, a young entrepreneur. And what he's putting in place is going to bring out about 40,000 metric tons of rice from 2018 December, when the machine will be installed by a German company that is already fabricated and putting into components together. It's for the future.
Major Abdul Mati has been speaking broadly on the agri empowerment initiatives of the Presidential Amnesty Program. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Stella.
Major Abdul Mati is the Technical Assistant and Head of Post-Training and Engagement at the Presidential Amnesty Office. Time now for our segment, PAP in Recap. A crucial meeting between the Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta and Coordinator Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro, Niger Delta stakeholders and leaders of Phases 1, 2, and 3 of the Amnesty Program ended in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, with support for President Buhari's agricultural efforts in the region through the Amnesty Office. The support by the leaders came after General Boro briefed the leaders on President Buhari's continued commitment to develop the region. On the status of delegate schooling abroad, General Boro said 95% of the students will graduate by December 2017 and exit the program. The special advisor to the president on Niger Delta urged the leaders to pay attention to farming and conduct themselves properly at all times to attract investors to the region. He said the current focus of the office is on training and empowerment of delegates in agriculture for national food security and job creation. Other leaders at the meeting spoke on areas of concern like pipeline surveillance, maritime university, and paucity of funds in the Amnesty Office to meet its demands. On other news, the special advisor to the president on Niger Delta and coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro, says the Nigerian Bar Association Task Force on Niger Delta is playing a critical role in the establishment of peace and public sensitization in the region. General Boro said this when the chairman of the body, Albert Akwomuje, and members of his team paid a courtesy visit to the Amnesty Office in Abuja. The special advisor said the Amnesty Office is delighted to partner and collaborate with the task force as it deals with human interest issues in the Delta.
So I think we need to partner together to get ourselves, associated with the common issues concerning us, and then how to manage them adequately.
And lastly, the special advisor to the president on Niger Delta and coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro, has felicitated with the newly crowned Amayanabo of Okochiri town in Okrika local government area of Rivers State, His Royal Majesty King Ateke Michael Tom. General Boro, who led a delegation from the Presidential Amnesty Office to the ceremony in Okochiri, commended King Ateke Tom for embracing peace and exhibiting qualities that has endeared him to his people, elevating him to a high level of leadership and decision-making in his community. The Amnesty boss called on the leaders and people of the region to live as one, as the federal government is committed to sustainable peace, stability, and development of the region. And this is how we wrap up this week's episode of the program. For more on the activities of the Presidential Amnesty Program, join us same time next week. Until then, please visit our various social media platforms to make comments and contributions. And as we say all the time on this program, remember that amnesty works. I am Stella Inameti.